Hi, everyone. If you find me, something went wrong when I went to put this on the first time. And I don't know if I had it on the other channel by accident or not, but it wouldn't go on. So I had to do it all over again. So that's why the thumbnail is not, it's my house. It's a picture of my house is the one I'm on. So I hope y'all can find me. I don't know what happened. There was a glitch. It didn't load right. I didn't do anything differently. I don't know what happened. But we'll see if anybody finds me here. I've been watching things on my old channel off and on. I noticed that this was much, of course, when I was younger. Well, I was 73 in a lot of them. It's like almost 10 years ago. And I talked much faster. And after I listened to a few of them, it really became irritating to me. I don't know why. But yeah. So far, nobody's found me. They're probably on another channel where I couldn't get on. So if you ever find me, I'm sorry about that. It wasn't my fault. It just came up as something went wrong on YouTube. So anyway, I'll just do this like a recorded video. I was watching some videos and I came across one of my nursing stories. Of course, it's done very poorly because it was when I was on Periscope. And half the time, you'll notice if you watch those, sometimes when I'm on Periscope, I tried to put things in landscape mode by just turning my phone. And when I turned my phone, I was seeing it in landscape, but it wasn't recording in landscape. So you had to turn your head like this in order to watch it. So those are not good ones. But I did find a nursing story that I'm going to re-put on again because it's such bad video. It's about when I was in nurses training and I was in my psych training part of it. It was after you've been in nursing about 2 years or so. You had a semester of all psych nursing, and it's about the 2 hospitals we went to. One was a sort of nice private hospital in Cleveland, in an old mansion. But the other one was on Turney Road. I think it's in Newburgh, Ohio, someplace near Cleveland. And hi, home and away, you're the only one that's found me so far. Yeah, there was a glitch when I was trying to put this on, and I had to close the first one down before it ever went on. There was something happened. So I had to redo it. And now nobody's here. But you found me. I hope they're not all sitting at that one waiting for it to come on because I'm not there. I was saying I found this one of my old nursing stories was about when I was in psychiatric training, and the one hospital was Hawthorne State Hospital. It was they called it a mental institution, or that they first had named it a lunatic asylum way back. It was very old. This was a huge, huge building, several buildings. It was built like in the 1920s, I think. And hi, Diane. Oh, I'm glad you found me. Yeah, there was a glitch when I went to start and it wouldn't go on. So I had to redo it. So, yeah. Uh, yeah, so this hospital, one of the mental institutions that Huron Road Hospital Nursing trained at was this humongous hospital. It was very, very, very old. It was horrible. But I did find the video on my old videos about it, so I'm going to redo it if I can find history on this place again. Now, I don't know if I can still find that or not, because there was even a little movie, and that would be nice if I can still find it. But who knows if they've taken that off by now. Yeah, because they closed it, I think, in the 1970s, finally. It had been taken over a couple times by other people. And it was, when we went, it was even better than it had been, of course, in the 40s. It was a horrendous place back then. Home and Away says, I have family history in psych hospitals. Both my grandmothers spent time in mental institutions. One had shock treatments for schizophrenia. Yes, that's one of the memories for sure I have is being involved in the shock therapy, because we each had to, experience all this stuff. And yes, they gave shock therapy for schizophrenia. They also gave insulin therapy, which also put them into a state of first they had a seizure and then they went into a coma. It was horrible treatment. There were no drugs back then, like there are now. There are very few mental hospitals now, yeah. And they're just short-lived. You just went in for emergencies, treatments, and then got your drugs set right. But there's no places like this anymore. I don't think. I hope not. It was a horrible place. But I will talk about that when I find some more information about it. I'll have to watch mine again and write down all the information that I did have at that time and then redo it, because it's pretty awful. If you find it, to watch, you'll see it's hard to watch because it's very blurry. And half the time, like I said, I was trying to get it in landscape mode and I kept flipping my phone thinking I had put it in landscape mode. And it wasn't. It was in portrait mode. So you have to sort of watch half of it like this. But it's horrible. So I want to redo it for sure. That's back when I was on Periscope. And all the Periscope videos, before they closed or stopped Periscope, you had a chance to transfer all your videos. I think I have 300 and some videos on that channel that's just Shirley Corwin. So a huge amount of them I had transferred. First, you sent them to a place called Catch. That's no longer available either. And then from there, you could send it to, um, your regular channel. So that's why it's on that other channel. Uh, yes, I started a second stream because that first one I could not get on it. There was a big thing on the side said, "Oops," that there was a mistake, and there was a glitch. So I had to start the second stream, hoping that you'd all find me. Thank goodness you did. Diane's here, Bryland Farms here, Bumblebee's here. Home and Away was the first one that found me. I was just telling about finding watching my old videos. Have a tickle. This will take a minute till I get my voice back. Riri, hi. Yeah. Some of them are okay, but some of them are really bad. I said I was I'm gonna sound funny because my throat is screwed up now. It'll get okay in a minute. But the one I did on nursing stories, I don't even sound like me. Especially the one about the psychiatric one is horrible, and I'm going to redo those. So, yeah, some of them are, I have a lot of them about chickens, and there's a lot on there about the horses and all kinds of stuff, cooking, just talking, just sitting and talking, a lot of them. But I'm shocked at how many Periscope videos I did do. I didn't even know I did that many. I'm having what they call a tracheal spasm. So it'll take a minute. Yeah, they're fun for me to listen to too, actually. That's why I was listening to them to see how many, because I've forgotten how many I put on. There's a lot of haul videos on there. I think those were done maybe those are in landscape mode, most of them. So I'm not sure if I did those when I finally got onto YouTube or at one point Periscope finally figured out how we could do landscape mode. So I'm not sure which one it was on, but it's on my other channel, just Shirley Corwin. I think I put after that video I was talking about finding the second channel, my other channel, I put a link to it. So I hope it works. I tested it and it worked for me. So I hope it works for you. You were all out there without me. That's what I figured. I was just hoping that you'd find me because I couldn't get on there. Yeah. So that's why this one has a picture of my house instead of, a thumbnail that I put on. Yeah. So I was just out walking around. It was hot and humid again today. And actually, my morning glories are starting to bloom. I had 3 blooms today. Of course, they've closed up now because they bloom early in the day, hence the name morning glory. But um, yeah, I'll have to take some pictures tomorrow. They're beautiful blue, heavenly blue is the name of them, morning glories. So I hope I get lots of blooms. I only see a very few buds. So that's the way it was last year. I didn't get a whole lot of blooms. I still haven't cleaned up my garden. I need a big rake. Just rake it all out of there and get the dirt ready for next year. I was going to plant a fall garden, but how I've been feeling, I just don't have the energy to do it, to tell you the truth. Uh, One thing I'm going to try when September starts, pretty soon, a few days, couple days, I'm going to start. I have to go to the grocery store just to get a few things, but I'm going to try to go see how long I can go just to live out of my freezer and refrigerator because my freezer is full and I've got to use some of the stuff in there. I hardly eat anything. Um, so it shouldn't be hard. And then Judy keeps bringing me food. Now she's off this week to judge a horse show in Canfield, Ohio. She does it every year, and she is doing it this year. She brought me just the other day. She brought me a container of beef vegetable soup, which was delicious. But she's busy this week. I keep telling her she doesn't have to feed me. I'm like her Meals on Wheels. She cooks for a couple other people too. I don't know if she thinks I'm not eating enough. Well, she knows I'm not a good cook, and yeah, she's known for her cooking. So anyway, mostly that's what I've been doing. I haven't been anyplace. I'm trying to get through this. On Netflix, I've been watching a series. I don't know how long ago it was on. I never saw it when it was on. It was a series on, I don't know what it was on, called Lost. Evidently, I'm only halfway through the series, and I've been watching it for weeks, it seems. Yeah, so like I said, I think I told you about it. It's about a plane that crashes on a jungle island. And there's 44 people, I think, left, and then they find other people on the island. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. It gets weirder as it goes on, though. Mm. Your freezer's packed too. Yeah. It's great at first and gets weird at the end. I know it's starting to get real weird now. I'm like, I think only halfway through it. I've even stopped watching it for a few days and watched something else because of that. I don't know. But you always want to see how it ends or what in the earth happens to these people. Because, I'm invested in these people. Uh, so, yeah, I think my cat's doing a little better. Jolene, my dog walker, noticed that she's looking better. and she doesn't seem to be going to the peeing as much in her litter box. Of course, I can't really tell that much because let her out during the day. So she's outside, and I'm sure she goes to the bathroom outside too. So my cleaning of the litter box is much better when she goes out. Now, she won't go out if it's too cold, or in the winter, she won't go out. But even her fur, is looking better. So hopefully, yeah. She doesn't seem to be begging quite as much for food. So that's a good sign. Yeah. So, one thing about these old videos, it's so nice to see my dogs, my dogs I had before Penny. I had Dexter, and then I lost Dexter to bone cancer. And before the two of them together, I had a little pointer, a female named Spirit, and I only had her a year because when I got her, I got her from the rescue, of course, and they had rescued her from out west someplace. I forget if I think it was Wyoming, one of the states out west. Now, if dogs don't hunt out west or in the south, they just think they're of no use. And a lot of times, this dog was then used for breeding, had, I guess, lots of litters, and just when they didn't want her for breeding anymore, they just let her out, let her loose. And she was she was starving to death when the ASPC found her. And they took her to the vets right away. She had mammary tumors, and they did surgery on her. And then they called the Pointer Rescue Organization, and they took her in. So that's where I got her. Now, by the time they don't put them up for adoption until they're in good condition. So she wasn't skinny anymore. She was in good condition. We thought, until she came down with lung cancer, which, came from the mammary tumors, had been evidently cancerous. And so she ended up having lung cancer. I even had chemotherapy done with her, but she did not, she never got better, and I had to let her go because she got miserable. So that was sad. My first pointer, Rocky, had bone cancer also. So these dogs are prone to cancer, which is kind of scary if you're going to get them. So I just pray Penny does not ever get that, because she's in bad enough shape with the separation anxiety problem. Yeah. But it was good to see and watch the dogs. Now, in some of the videos way back, I think there's also pictures of my dog, my Saint Bernard Monk. I haven't found them again yet, but I'm slowly just looking at them because I can't stand to watch myself all day. First of all, like I said in the beginning, I talk much faster than I do now. And after I listen to a couple of my videos, it's really irritating to me. I don't know why. Yeah, strange. But anyway, I've been trying to list my 3 a day, but yesterday and so far today, I've had 0 sales. It's funny how that just happens. Now, this is on both platforms, Poshmark and eBay. I did sell that pair of Skechers right there on eBay, but they're not paid for. And this is the second full day. Now I thought eBay fixed that, so people can't do that anymore. That used to happen all the time. It doesn't happen anymore, and except I had another that happened another time. They never paid for the article, and now this one, the shoes. And sometimes you just know if they don't pay in the first day or two, you know that they're just not going to pay for them, which is bad because it now takes them out of the inventory because they're marked as sold and nobody else can buy them. Uh, yeah, so that's the bad part about it. If they'd stay in inventory that somebody else could buy them, unless they were paid for, it would be okay. But I don't think it's like that with eBay. I think with Poshmark, people can bundle things and things, but if they until they pay for it, it's still somebody else can buy it. So other than that, I haven't been doing much all day. uh, yeah, my chickens are good. The weather's this evening seems to be a little cooler and the humidity isn't as bad. So I don't know what tomorrow's supposed to be like. Uh, Yesterday, Samantha came and cleaned. It was just her cleaning day, so we didn't get to do anything. I like the other days better. I have to make a list of things that I want this new handyman to do. It has to be a list more than just a tiny little thing. So I have to make that list and give him a call. Yeah, so what's everybody else been doing? Uh, you're sorting jewelry. You're probably sorting jewelry to give away. Yeah, I still have your bag of jewelry, and I pulled out several pieces. I've taken the photos of them, but I haven't put it on yet. You picked up a few bags of Goodwill today. I never see that at my Goodwill. They used to have a cabinet where they would put things like that, and neither one of my Goodwills have that anymore. So I don't know where they would have jewelry in my Goodwills. I haven't seen jewelry in there in quite a few years. I do see it at Volunteers of America. They do have some. Yeah, mostly giveaway. You just found a tiny 14-karat wedding band in with a rosary. Yeah, it's kind of sad. Ah, Did I tell this is kind of gross, but did I tell you one time in a pocket of something? I forget what it was now. It was a pocket of clothing. I found a little satchel, like a little envelope. And inside the envelope was a ring, same thing like a wedding band, and some gold teeth. Yeah, kind of gross. Probably somebody's grandmother's ring that they accidentally gave away. Mm. About 5 pieces of sterling you found. That was good. Yeah. Always good to find precious metals. Yeah, it was, ugh. Hmm. Oh, maybe a baby ring. Now, I had my baby ring, and I don't know where in the earth that is now. Maybe it's maybe it's still up with some of my jewelry, but don't remember seeing it recently at all. But I remember that I had it. Janet, hi. uh, my blog. Well, somebody found my blog, Janet. Yeah, I did that for a long time. Uh, Along the side, you'll see how many years that went back. I think it went back to 2003, maybe. Yeah, I would do that almost every day. I would write on it or every other day. That was before I even thought about doing videos. Sorry. Taking me to the post office. That means I'm going to get a box from Bumblebee. Oh, hooray. That's always exciting. Yes, I guarantee you it'll be better than the thread up box. All these things are going on very cheaply on when I'm listing them. Almost all these things from that thread up box. I just want to get my $2 back. I tell you I added them all up and it came just to be about $1.75 each. So I can sell them, inexpensively. But I don't know, do people even look at these things anymore? Some of them are in good condition, they're just not things that sell. But I figure if I put the price low enough, people. Uh, there's Guitar Guy. Closed down Goodwill again. Uh, you must not buy very much each time, or you better have a shed or something to put this stuff in. Yeah. What did you get, Guitar Guy? Both you and Dahlia were there? Uh, you look for home. Now that heart. Home. Oh, just home runs anymore. Okay. Yeah. Classic. Dahlia says a death pile for days. Yes, I would think that you go there a lot. I used to go a lot too, actually. It reminded me when I was watching the old videos how often I went. I got big I got big hauls back then. And I swear, if I had the patience to watch those haul videos, uh, I think there's some things on there that I still have in my inventory. That's how old some of this stuff is. I should take notes and get that stuff and mark it $5 or something. Yeah. It should be vintage by now. A die-cast farm vehicle, $5 was worth 120. Oh, yay. Ah, there's good stuff in your death piles. I bet. If you're just buying home runs. Kiki. Hi, Kiki. Oh, it's next to your work. And your job is stressful. So afterwards, he takes me there to de stress. That's a perfect thing. Yes. Yeah. Well, that's what I did because I love to shop. So instead of shopping for myself anymore, I made it a business. And that gave me an excuse. And then I could shop. And it satisfied me just as good, just as well as shopping for myself. Oh dear, the cast iron is ERTL. I don't know anything about them. Oh, you live off of it too. Wow. Well, you're doing really good. Violent Farm's about to list that herself too. Oh, I'll have to keep an eye out for that. I don't even know what that is. Are we talking about little die cast things? Little? It's a thresher. Uh, wish I could send a picture. Oh, you picked up a box of free toys off the side of the road. My husband loved to do that kind of stuff. Now he was a policeman. This is back when he's working. He was a policeman, so he'd be in the car riding around sometimes. This is before he became a off, up in ranks. And then he'd remember where these things were. They were putting them out, and he'd come home, and we'd go out and yeah, shop curbside. Garbage pick is actually what it was. Because in Parma was famous for their garage sales. They always had a lot of garage sales, which we went to a lot. And after the garage sales, a lot of times, uh, like on the Monday, it would be garbage day, Monday or Tuesday. And those, we'd always ride along and you'd never know what you're going to find. I found a couple of really nice pieces of furniture that I redid and I still have in this house. Oh, wow. You guys are similar to Lavender Clothesline, Karen and Roger. I bet, yeah. Just researched it last night and said, wow. Mm. When I looked up the brand, I was shocked. Thousands for some of those. Oh my heavens. McCormick Deering is the name. Not sure brand of die cast. It's 1/16 scale. Ah, John Deere is oversaturated. Yeah, that's the name everybody knows. Wow. Yeah. Guitar guy, have you told us the name of your store? You're on eBay, I assume? uh, are you under guitar guy? My eye is twitching and I hate that. You probably can't see it. It's so little, but I can feel it so much. eBay is called TSGHI. TSGHI. TSH. Was it TSGH? He started with all sports. Had a store name called the Sports Guy. The Sports Guy has it. Oh, okay. Initials from that is your store. The Sports Guy has it. Okay, I get it. You sell anything now. Oh, that'll be fun to go see. Yeah, I don't watch Karen and Rogers that often, but I do tune in once in a while. I get, I have I'll watch them for a while and then I'll stop for a while, like most things. Brylan just found a 14K charm with a tag that says 14K. This Goodwill is not even trying. That's probably why I keep buying these bags. They're not trying to sort it very well, obviously. You sell anywhere from sewing machines to guitars. It's quite a range. Yeah. The jewelry, even getting your bag, it is fun to go through, but I just never learned much about it and never did that. Now my eyes are so bad. Thank goodness this September, I don't think it's till the 24th though, I finally go to the eye doctor. I made the appointment early spring. And I hope for sure that I'm going to need new lenses because I know I need them, because here's how I see good. This is a pair of store-bought glasses. They are a 2.25. I used to wear these when I could actually see and only need them as readers. But if I put these over these, I can actually see much better, like the chat. And I can't go around with these on my face all the time. But yes, I definitely need stronger glasses. Lots of crap, smelly crap. Yeah. Well, I don't want to get any more inventory as far as numbers than I have, and that's the problem. I have to get rid of some of this stuff because I still like to find things and to get boxes, especially from Bumblebee. So, yeah. But I don't want to add to my inventory. I don't want to have to make any new bins. I've actually made some smaller boxes, small, that I can do little things in. small, but they're deep. You know, you can just put them in like a file system. 12 in the chat. Ah, welcome everybody. Glad you found me. It was a struggle getting on here tonight. Yeah, I have 2 bags of things going back to Goodwill. Things that I've been saving up for like months. I finally got a couple bags worth, so I want to take them up and drop them off because they're in my car already and they're taking up too much room in the back of my car because I already have 2 bags of chicken feed in there. So, yeah, I need to get rid of these. Yeah, if I get more chicken feed or chicken scratch, then will fit in my, metal cans. I have to keep it in my car because if I keep it anywhere else, the animals are going to get into it. So, unless I keep it in the house, I have to keep it in the car. Ah. I've been really off kilter all day. I went to take a walk around the yard, which I did, but I was very sort of almost not dizzy, but sort of, I just think my legs are getting weaker from my back. It feels like my hips and back are making my legs weak. Janice says, guitar guy, you need your own channel. Yeah, you do. You need to start your own YouTube channel. I bet you'd do good. Maybe he has a secret one. Ah, you don't like social media, believe it or not. Well, I'm glad you come here, at least. Karen's basement is amazing. Yes, she's very organized. Very organized. Ah, and she actually talks about cleaning it too. I mean, they go down there and they actually clean. Of course, the house isn't an old house like here, it's a newer house. I'm sure the basement doesn't get, it looks like a new basement, doesn't get dirty like older houses. Uh, you're my only chat room. Well, thank you. I'm so glad that you found me. And Janet too. You wish you were tech savvy. Well, I'm only tech savvy on what I do. If you ask me about any other questions about it, no, I have to then call my grandson. Yeah, he knows a lot about computers because he's a gamer, and I think they know and he built his own computer, so he has to know about it. Can we get the YouTube names of everybody's YouTube channels? Well, I don't know if anybody else on. Well, Brown Farm is. It's Brown Farm. Uh, but her store. Yeah, do I know the name of your store, Brian? But if you join her, she Brown Farm, she puts what she sells every single day on on online, what she sells and what she gives away. Yeah. Uh, Classy D found me. Ah, thank you. I can attest to that. He's never chatted anywhere before. Well, I'm impressed. I'm so thankful. The pink pegboard. Yes. I just found I saved your when you sent me the jewelry, I saved that shipping label so I would remember that. The pink pegboard. You found Classy D at Goodwill, just like Karen found Roger. Isn't that romantic? He was the hot Goodwill. She was the hot Goodwill girl on Friday nights. That's how we met, like Karen and Roger. Right. That's such a great story. Yeah. You can't find them on YouTube. He looks forward to this chat. Well, good. Uh, Once I get going, sometimes I think, what in the earth am I going to talk about? But then once people come in here and we start a conversation, then it's easy. Yes, but I wouldn't know what to talk about if I was just on here and with nobody that talked to me. Those are the recorded videos. My recorded videos actually have a subject and a reason I'm putting them on. This is just chatting. Ah, yeah. What did you say to her? Oh, she hit you with the cart in line. No joke. Classy Deli says I ran into him with my cart. Ah, you're both checking comps on your phones. That's funny. The line moved and he didn't. So you had to bump him. Right. They just don't pay attention. Yeah, how long have you two been together? 2 years. You newlyweds. Newlyweds. Just like Karen and Roger. That's funny. Mm, that's so nice. Let's see. How did I meet my first husband? I was introduced to at a wedding that my roommate took me to. It was one of her family getting married, and he was at the wedding because he knew the family. Evidently, he had just gotten out of the army. He was a paratrooper. What was the name? He was in a famous part of the army that did parachuting. Anyway, that's how I met him. My parents weren't thrilled with him, I'll tell you. I don't know exactly why. I don't know why. But it turns out they were the right judge. But anyway, I had two beautiful children with him. But then I had to leave in a hurry. His mother was see, I didn't know anything about his family much, but his mother had been a paranoid schizophrenic, and that's what he turned out to be. And wasn't good. 82nd Airborne, no. 101st. He was in the 101st. They had like a panther. He had a tattoo on his arm of it. On their emblem, it's a panther. 101st. Yeah, and after he got out of the army, when we were going together, he loved the jumping out of an airplane, and he took up that as a hobby, and he did parachuting. I even went up. I even went up in the small plane with him one time. Of course, there was a pilot, and just him and me, and there was no door on this little plane. It was just a little tiny plane, like a four-seater Cessna. And he had all his gear on and everything, and no door. And he jumped out, and I watched him go down, and chute opened and everything. And then we landed and went to where he was. That was the only time I went up in the plane with him. I didn't like the part of no door. Yeah. Yeah, and my husband Jack, uh, I met my first husband actually died of complications of dementia after our divorce. Actually, I don't know if it was an actual divorce or a see, he was Catholic. I wasn't, but I turned Catholic, as if that's what they call it. And I went to classes and everything, and so that I could get married in the church. And then if you get divorced in the Catholic religion, don't allow annulment. Yes. Yes. It was we had an annulment, which I don't see how in the earth that can happen. We had two children, but that's what it was called, an annulment. So, yeah. And then a couple of years after that, I met somebody first for a while, and then I I told you we went on the trip to the Bahamas. I met a Bahamian guy who worked for uh, who did I say worked for Eastern Airlines, and that was just a short-lived thing. But then I met another guy here at home, and then I met Jack, and I met him through somebody else that was going with a cop. How that they introduced us, the two of us. He had just gotten divorced. Yeah, it was. I mean, we just went out a couple times, and it was just, you know, pretty much love at first sight. Uh, yeah. So, yeah. The trouble was and this happens a lot. When he was he was had a college degree in psychology of all things. My ex-husband actually liked Jack. And sometimes he'd just come over and he'd talk to Jack. Well, Jack sort of knew how to talk to him. I don't know if it was from being a cop or from being a psych major. But anyway, that was before he got into really bad condition. And I didn't let my kids go visit him anymore because he was trying to drive him places and he couldn't. One time he backed the car, my kids told me about this. He backed the car out of the driveway and just kept backing up onto across the street and onto across the street's lawn and up to their house. He didn't remember doing that or anything. So that was the last time they were allowed uh, to visit him by themselves. Yeah, it was a whole messy thing. But he finally, he, I think he died. Probably, I don't know why anybody wants to know this. He had broken his leg. He fell and broke his leg in a grocery store, I think, or in Walmart or someplace. I forget where it was. I think it was a grocery store. He fell and broke his leg and had to get that fixed. And something happened that it got all infected, and he didn't do anything about it. And he just let it alone, and it got so bad he had to have his leg removed right below the knee. And then after that, he was, had dementia then. And he went to a hospital for that. And that was the end of him. He finally died. I never visited him because I had bad memories of the whole thing. Yes, I found my first husband. I mean, I should have listened to my parents. Yes, my second husband was my real husband, although my kids are from my first husband. And my kids felt that Jack was their father too, especially Carl, my son. Yeah. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. I started to tell you my Jack was not a Christian. He was an agnostic. And it happened during his parents were Christians. Now, I don't know how much and what they believed. But my husband, when he was in college, there was a professor what was it? I forget the class. But the way he talked evidently is when Jack decided there wasn't a God. Or there was something, but there wasn't, he didn't believe in Jesus or any of that. So, yeah, so I'm very surprised that we got along. But I kept at him. I finally took him to church. And this was at the end. This was not at the very end. I mean, I don't think he knew he had leukemia at the time he first went to church with me. But then he got leukemia, and he only lived 3 years after that. And they had given him 5 years to live. He only lived 3. He was at the Cleveland Clinic all the time. We went there, I don't know how many times a week. He had all kinds of treatments. Had the nicest doctor ever. And it went past got into his lungs and his bones and went through the blood-brain barrier, and he got it in his brain. Now, they took care of that with, they said they did anyway, with the radiation. But by that time, it was, he wasn't doing good. Anyway, uh, yeah. But I'll tell you, my the pastor I had back then at the same church I go to now, but it was a different pastor. He was wonderful. And he went to visit Jack at the hospital. And by that time, before he went into the hospital the last time, this was 17 days before he died, he accepted Christ as a savior. And 17 days, he cut it real close. And then after that, my pastor went to visit him quite a bit. And yeah. Did I ever see the movie I Can Only Imagine with Dennis Quaid? That sounds really familiar. I think I've seen it, but I can't think about. In fact, I think I saw it recently. Mm. It's about that song. It's a Christian movie. Yeah. Yeah, that whole thing was it was hard because at the same time that he had leukemia, my mother was dying in Erie. The whole thing, it was a horrible 5 years of my life. Uh, Awesome song and movie. Yes, I'm sure I've seen it. And I think on Netflix, the picture they show is the guy at the piano. He plays the father who found God before he died. Son tried for a year to get him to go to church. Yeah, I know I've seen it. I know, and just recently, in the past year, I think. I'll have to look for it again. Yeah, that was a good movie. My stories. There's a whole bunch more stories on my old videos. It's just hard to watch them because the video's so awful. And also, I didn't have a mic back then, and the sound is horrible. You have to turn the sound up like all the way. Uh, yeah. But I'm going to go back and watch. I did a lot of nursing stories on my old videos, so the only one I found so far is the psych training one, and that's a good one, but it's horrible. It's hard to watch. But excuse me, I'm going to redo that one. But there's other ones on there too that I have to go back and listen to, and maybe I'll redo them uh, on this channel because it's better video and better sound when I record now that I have my little mic that I clip on myself. So, yeah, more stories to come. So I think I'm going to close down for now. Uh, and yeah, my stories aren't usually about myself. They're usually about, well, maybe they are about myself, uh, about things that happen. Of course, the nursing stories are about myself, but they're way back then. They're old stories, so that's okay. Ah, so I'm going to close, and I hope y'all will come back on Sunday at 4 o'clock when I tell you what I did or didn't sell. So far, not doing too good here. Very few little pieces of paper here. So hoping that they'll pick up the next couple days. Yeah. Thank you, guitar guy. I'm so glad you found me. You and Dahlia. Yes, for sure. I'm going to go hunt for your store now. Uh, uh, You'd love to hear some story about interesting patients. I only remember a couple patients, to tell you the truth, but I do remember a couple of them. I'll keep that in mind. Uh, so I will see you on Sunday. Until then, thank you for joining me. Bye.